Hello and welcome to your practice today. Today is practice one in a series called Stand Tall Like a Heron. Heron pose requires a lot of length and opening in the backs of the legs, and today's practice will not include that particular pose, but will instead include poses that could be considered building blocks or warm ups in regard to working toward the heron pose. So you can place your yoga strap to the front short side of your mat. And we're going to start in the hero's position. And if this particular pose doesn't work for your knees or your ankles, please feel free to opt out. And you can always come to simple cross leg. So for the hero's pose, you want to take the knees. I usually like to have my knees on a blanket. And you can take a yoga block on its lowest height. So knees are underneath of the hip points. The block is on its lowest height and goes between the inner feet. So the block looks like this between the inner feet. And then you can take your bolster. And it's a little bit awkward to get it across, but you can take your bolster and you can set it on top of the block in your feet. So that way, when you come down, you don't have quite as much flexion in the knees. We're going to take the other yoga block and we're going to place it out to the left side of the body. And this is going to be our centering position. And again, please feel free. We don't want to put in any unnecessary pressure, cause any pain in the knee joints. So feel free to opt out if this position doesn't work for you. So as we come here to this shape or the simple cross leg, you can turn your palms to face upward toward the sky. Soften your elbows into the sides of the body. One reason I like this particular shape of the legs is that it allows you to get just a little bit more length in the spine, a little easier than sitting with the legs in that crossed position. So reach upward toward the sky. Just the eyes close and we begin to cultivate the deep internal gaze. Turn the awareness of your mind to the feeling and to the flow of the breath. Deepen the breath so that you're really connected to the feeling of the breath across the back of the throat, creating a very soft sound. And allow the eyes to softly reopen, keeping that deeper breath going. And as you inhale, let's just simply circle sweep the arms out to the side. Reach them long by the sides of your face. Prayer hands connecting. Exhale. Draw the prayer hands into the heart as you lengthen up through the crown of your head. Inhale, begin to circle sweep. Feel the sideways lift out of the pelvis, crown of the head reaching up, prayer hands connecting. Exhale, bring them down into the heart. One more time that way. Inhale, circle sweep. Connect your prayer hands and draw them down into your heart. Take a breath in, circle sweep your arms, reach them up toward the sky. As you're exhaling, let your left hand come down onto the block, and you're going to start to lean over, opening a little more through the right underarm region. Let's just stay in that side tilt for a moment, but exhale, bring your right arm back down as you're still leaning to the side. And then as you breathe in, let your right arm sweep back up by your ear, opening through the underarm area, maybe a little stronger opening through the side waist. Exhale, bring the arm back down. Okay. Okay, now let's catch hold of the block in the left hand. Right hand can just rest on the waist, and then we'll come back up through the center with the block. We're going to just simply switch the block to the second side. So set the block out to the right. Stack your shoulders over your hips, reach up through the crown of your head. As you inhale, circle sweep your arms, reach them around and up. And as you exhale, let's take the right hand down to the block and let's start to lean over to the side. You're going to stay in that side tilt, but do the movement with the top arm again. So as you exhale, let your top arm start to sweep down. And then as you inhale, let your arms sweep back up by the ear, opening through the underarm. As you exhale, sweep the left arm down. Now we're going to take the left hand to the left hip, catch hold of the block, and you can start to bring the body back up. You can even just take your block and set it out toward the front short side of the mat. One more movement here before we transition. Shoulders over hips, breathe in, sweep your arms up by the ears, interlock your hands and flip your palms up toward the sky. Take the low front floating ribs and draw them slightly toward one another as your palms extend up and the sitting bones ground down. Just going to create a lot of length in the body with today's practice. Feel your arm muscles drawing in toward the arm bones. Breathe in, and as you exhale, begin to release your hands, float your arms out and open, transitioning the body now to tabletop position. So you can shift off your bolster, shift off your block, and we're going to come to tabletop. So the blocks can go out to the front. Okay, so as you arrive here, the first thing we'll do just a couple rounds of cat-cow, and then we'll do some release for the knees. So you're going to breathe in and tip your belly button down toward the floor, lifting up through the heart. And then as you exhale, pressing your hands, arcing and rounding through your spine. Inhale, release through the belly, lift up through the heart. Exhale, round through the spine. Inhale, come to neutral. Shift into your right knee. Extend the left leg back with the ball of the foot on the floor. And let's begin to pulse the left heel toward the back of the mat and bring it forward. And let's do that a few times. So feel free as we're doing this to have a little bit of softness in the elbows. Last round or two, these heel pulses, warming up the back of the leg, and then allowing your left heel to come down. Same movement with your right. Extend out through the right knee, ball of the foot on the floor, and pulse the right heel. Just a few more times. Okay, and then as your right heel pulses forward, let your right knee find the earth. Breathe in, let your belly start to tip down to the floor and lift up through your heart. Exhale, ground into the balls of the feet. Draw the belly button in. Lift your sitting bones up toward the sky. And then you're going to start to pedal out your knees and through your feet. So now we're starting to create that length all the way up through the backs of the legs. So if we have a job where we're sitting at a desk, that action of sitting actually creates restriction across the back of the legs, which actually ends up causing us to tuck the pelvis under and round through the spine. So it's really important to keep the backs of the legs open. So a few hamstring stretches each day are really great to counterbalance and neutralize the effect of sitting. All right, in that downward facing dog, let's breathe in, take the gaze upward toward the hands, and begin to step the feet forward lightly over the blanket, coming into the forward fold. Now, as you land here, feet beneath the hips, breathe in, lift the belly away from the thighs, and reach out through the crown of the head. So the focus is on creating lots of length in the body. So feel your spine long here as you reach forward through the crown of the head, and then as you exhale, fold into the legs. Breathing in, let's bend the knees a generous amount, sweep the arms out like big wings, and then rise all the way up, fingertips stretching upward toward the sky, prayer hands coming together, and then down into the heart space. We're going to catch hold of the strap. We're going to do a few movements with the shoulders with the strap, just in honor of this theme of creating length. So the movement that we're going to do includes just a few rounds of cactus arms with the strap. So you're going to take your hands about 18 inches, maybe 20, 24 inches or so. You're going to inhale and sweep the strap up and along the sides of your face. Press down through your feet. Feel the crown of your head reach up. And then as you exhale, let your elbows bend so you come into the shape of the cactus arms. And then as you breathe in, you're going to reach your arms back up. Exhale, bend the elbows. Inhale to reach up. Exhale to bend. Inhale to reach one more time. Exhale to bend. Inhale to reach and exhale. Let your strap come forward, down in front of your legs. Take a breath in and a breath out. I'm going to do another movement with the strap. You're going to inhale, let the arms sweep back up. Reach through the side waist. Reach up through the crown. We're going to exhale, tip the body to the left. So you're going to keep a lot of length in that underneath side of the body, even as we're tipping over to the left. And you're going to inhale, come back up through the center. And you're going to exhale, draw the low front floating ribs in and tip the body over to the right. Keep a little bit of length as you're arcing over. Inhale, come back to the center. And then exhale, let your strap come up forward. I'm going to release the strap forward to the front short side of the mat. We're just going to take mountain position. Breathe in, sweep your arms out and up. Exhale, prayer hands coming through the heart. Bend the knees and fold the body forward over the legs. And as you're landing here, we're going to actually bend the knees, almost like a chair position. Reach out through the crown of the head. Now, only if it feels appropriate for your spine. You can let your arms open out to the sides like wings. And then as you exhale, fold back into the legs. Let's do that action again. Inhale, let your knees bend, going in toward chair, halfway lift with the spine. Maybe float the arms open. Exhale, hands coming down and hips going nice and high. One more time. Inhale, bend the knees, reach long through the crown. Sweep your arms open. Exhale, hands coming down. And sitting bones reaching up. Inhale, lift through the belly, reach out through the crown of the head. Move your blocks back to frame your right foot. Step your left foot back so you're finding the shape of the lunge. So some pulses here. Just let the hips remain in that high lunge as you breathe in. And then as you exhale, we're going to move the hips back, rocking onto the right heel. You can feel that sensation of opening through the back of the right leg. And then inhale as you plant the right foot down. Let the hips go down. Lift up a bit through the heart. Move the hips back. Rock onto the right heel. Again, inhale, plant the right foot down. Take the shape of the lunge. Exhale, move the hips back, maybe rock onto the right heel. So inhale, we're going to reach the crown of the head forward as we're in this position. Spread through the toes. Create length in the spine as well as the back of the right leg. Take a breath in. As you exhale, let your right knee begin to bend. So we can take a little shift of the blocks forward. Press off the back foot. Step forward. Inhale, take halfway lift with the spine. Exhale, fold into the legs. Inhale, take halfway lift with the spine. Move the blocks back. Step the right foot back into high lunge. So inhale, keep the left knee stacked over the left ankle. And then as you're exhaling, move the hips back, rock onto the left heel. Inhale, let the left foot come down. Find the shape of the lunge. Exhale, rock the hips up and back, rocking onto the left heel. One more time. Inhale, left foot comes down, hips come down, high lunge. Exhale, rock the hips back, rock upon the left heel, stay there. Now we want to create length not only in the back of the left leg, but the spine. So keep the spine more in that halfway lift position. I like to keep a soft bend in my left knee, not to overtax the tendons at the back of the knee. Glide the shoulders down the back and almost feel you're creating length, but there is a little bit of sensation of almost like the heart melting down toward your left toes. Breathing in. Okay, let the left foot once again plant. Now we're going to be stepping back this time into downward dog. So move the blocks out to the side. Step that left foot back into downward facing dog. All right, and just take a moment here. Breathing in. Okay, we're going to walk the toes back 1 to 2 inches. We're going to bring the hips forward into plank pose, emphasizing that feeling of length in the spine in the plank pose. So roll the hips forward. Okay, we're just going to hold momentarily. So reach out through the crown of the head. Feel the sides of the neck nice and long. Your low front floating ribs slightly draw in. As you're exhaling, we're going to lower the knees and we're going to move the hips back into child's pose. Pause in the child's pose for a moment. Feel the breath expanding across the back body. Inhale and exhale, sigh it out. Inhale, rise back up to all fours. We're going to come around to seated position. So you want to take your blanket and maybe fold it up one time so that you're sitting up on the edge of that yoga blanket. Okay, and then we're going to take the left leg and extend it out in front of you and also open slightly to the left while the right knee bends and points up toward the sky. Now, an alternative position for this is to just actually let the right knee fall open. So if that feels better for your body, please opt for that. So wherever you are, you first want to create length. So if your hands are on your shins, you can use that to help lift the body. If the knee is falling open, you can actually press into your hands and lift up. And we're going to take a twist. So we're going to take the right hand back behind us. Keep the length in the spine as you start to twist toward the right leg. Now we want to push out a bit through the left heel. The whole left leg actually slightly shifts forward. So the pelvis is definitely a little bit off center. It's not equal on both sides. Right hip is slightly back, left hip is slightly forward. And you can maybe rotate just a bit more. Feeling of just almost like wringing out the center of the body. Feel yourself release and let go of the exhalation, a symbol of releasing and letting go of what is no longer serving you. Okay, and then come back around to the center and let's just lean back onto the hands and let's swap out the legs. So right leg is going to go forward and slightly open. Left knee is either going to point straight up to the sky or allow the left knee to fall open. Draw the belly closer to the left thigh if the left knee is pointing upward by the hands interlocking across the shin. And just if the knee's open, remember, use your hands behind you and lift your heart. Okay, left hand coming back, and you're going to start to rotate the spine. You're going to turn to the left leg. And remember, we want to press through the right heel. Let the right hip slide forward a little bit. So it'll almost feel like the pelvis looks like this with the left hip slightly back, right hip slightly forward. Bringing out to the center of the body. Exhale and feel your breath move out of the body, this symbol for release and letting go. Okay, and then come back around to the center. And we're going to take both legs out in front of us momentarily. Sit right on the edge of that yoga blanket. Press out through the heels. Sweep the arms open and up. At the top, interlock your hands. Flip the palms up to face the sky. Feel your whole spine lengthen upward. Reach out through your feet. Okay, one more breath in. As you're exhaling, let your hands release, let the arms open up. You're just going to come to that cross leg position. You can stay facing the front. I'm going to face out toward you. You can let your palms find a comfortable place on your lap, sitting on the edge of the blanket or maybe the bolster. Just feeling the lightness across the chest. A few more rounds of breath. As you're ready, let your hands join at your heart center in prayer. Lift up through your heart. Light within me bows to that same light that exists within you. Namaste.